I would like to welcome you all, okay, and dito sa ating orientation on the research methodology, no? I know that you are already familiar, okay, with the chapter 3, okay, which is about the research methods, no? So bakit kailangan magkaroon ng reorientation about this, okay, so that we will be in the same page, and then at the same time, when we had our meeting with the Kabim administration, ay inallow tayo na kumilos during June, July, and even on the first part of August, so that hindi tayo mahirapan pagdating ng pasukan, okay, in terms of the preparation for our thesis. Okay? So, pag-uusapan natin about the research methodology, and then ang allowed sa ating gawin nitong June, July is yung revision of your manuscript based on the recommendations given by your panel members, and then we will have the construction of the research instrument, yung inyong mga survey questionnaire, and then we have the validation and then reliability testing. Okay, so hanggang doon yung inaalaw sa atin. Okay, now in the case of those studies that have already adopted, okay, the survey questionnaires, particularly yung ating mga employability studies, yung ating employers feedback, okay, since wala na kayong i-construct, wala na kayong i-validate, and wala na rin kayong reliability test, okay, you are allowed to proceed to data gathering, no? Anyway, identified nyo na rin naman kung sino yung inyong mga respondents, okay, so that you will have a head start, no, in the data gathering. Okay, but then the rest, okay, yung magagawa pa lamang, magko-construct, magva-validate and reliability testing, hanggang dun lang muna tayo until we start the first semester of next academic year, and that will be on the I believe that will be on the second or third, I believe second week of August, no? So yun yung na-approve sa atin, no? Then I would like to share to you, okay, yung timeline. Anyway, I'll be sharing this doon sa Google site once na matapos tayo. Okay, kung titignan natin, May 28 to June 3, so this week, actually dapat after nga ng defense ninyo, ginawa na natin itong revision of manuscript based on the recommendation of the panel members. Okay? So although hindi pa naman siya i-check, no? Hindi naman niya ipapasubmit ng inyong mga subject teachers. It is good na dapat ay nasimulan nyo na o natapos nyo na yung revision based on the recommendation of the panel members. Bakit? It is because we have a lot of activities to do. Okay? So June 4 to June 24, that is roughly 3 weeks. We will have the construction of questionnaire, so that will start on next week. And then June 25 to July 15, another 3 weeks is validation of instrument. July 16 to August 12, another 3 weeks, we'll have the reliability testing. I believe this is more of 4 weeks yata ito. Okay? And then August 13 to September 9, pag nag-start na yung ating semester, that is where you are allowed to gather your data. And then September 10 to September 23, okay, so you are given 2 weeks to finalize your chapters 4 and 5, and then endorsement na tayo. Okay? So for those who will be endorsed from September 24 to October 7, ang timeliness ninyo ay 100. October 8 to October 21 is 95. October 22 to November 4 is 90. November 5 to November 18 is 85. November 19 to November 25 is 80. November 26 to December 2 is 75. And then December 3 to December 9 is 70. Okay? So, kumbaga nakaayos na yung mga activities natin. So, what will happen if the group chooses na walang gagawin itong June, July? Okay? So, ibig sabihin, itong mga dapat na gagawin ng construction, validation, and reliability, kung hindi nyo nagawa, ito igagawin ninyo pagdating ng August. So, definitely, hindi nyo mamimit yung required number of weeks. Okay? So, uusog yung inyong endorsement. Okay? So, doon nagkakaroon ng problema kapag hindi kumikilos yung grupo. Ibig sabihin ay hindi enough yung time, kaya minsan inaabot na ng December, hindi pa natatapos yung data gathering. Okay? Hanggang sa naging incomplete na. I believe in the case of BSBA, BSTM, okay, ay nakatapos lahat. Okay? But then in the case of BSHM, okay, there are some na incomplete pa, no? Ibig sabihin talagang hindi umabot. Okay? So I hope that by the final defense, okay, ay makaabot tayo, okay, on the prescribed timeline, no? So I'll be posting this so that this will be your guide, no? So as I have said, ang target natin sa ngayon ay itong apat: the revision of manuscript, construction of questionnaire, validation of instrument, and then reliability testing. Okay? So, mahaba yung nire-require. Almost 2 months ang nire-require para bago matapos talaga ito. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, kung June, July talagang bakasyon grande ang gagawin ninyo, uusog natin itong 2 months ninyo rito. So, definitely, kung August, September, October, baka November na kayo makapag-submit. Okay, or December. So tinanggap nyo na yung grade na 80, 75 or 70 in the and the worst case scenario is hindi nyo pa rin natapos. It is because in the data gathering it took you a lot of time, then lagpas pa. Ibig sabihin nag OJT na yung iba at yung iba naman ay hindi pa nakakapag final defense. Okay? Kasi hindi kayo may endorse for OJT kung hindi pa kayo nakakapag tapos ng inyong manuscript, okay, as well as with the final defense. So maliwanag ba yon itong ating timeline? Kindly show of hands, paki-click na ang thumbs up kung naintindihan yung ating timeline. Okay, that's good. Ayan. Okay. So let us start, no? So nahati kayo in the research design, whether you are from descriptive. So itong group na ito, yung 1 PM session is for descriptive, and then yung mga developmental and experimental research ay mamayang 2:00 pa, no? And then we have the sampling procedure. Okay? So ano ba yung sampling procedure? First, you have to identify who will be your respondents of the study. Sino ba talaga ang sasagot ng inyong survey questionnaire. Okay? So ang magiging heart and soul at magiging basis natin dito in the preparation is our statement of the problem. Number 1, dapat naintindihan nating maigi ano yung ating statement of the problem. Number 2, dapat naintindihan natin sino ang sasagot ng mga tanong na iyon. Okay? Definitely yung question numbers 1, 2, 3, okay, or for some 4 and 5, okay, usually yan ay sinasagot using the survey questionnaire. And then yung mga inferential question, yung mga tanong ninyo na is there a significant difference, is there a significant relationship, ay di yan lalabas o magagawa lamang yan using the statistical tools. Okay? So the first step, as I have said, you have to know who will be your respondents of the study. And then the second question is ilan ba ang respondents ninyo? Okay? And then the respondents will be based on our population. Okay? If the population is less than 100, let's say for example, ang inyong mga respondents ay let's say mga vendors, okay, in Nasugbu public market. Okay, lahat ng vendor, mapa vegetable man 'yan, mapa dry goods man 'yan, mapa let's say, umabot lang siya ng 80, okay, 80, there is no need to have a sampling procedure. It is because it is less than 100. Okay, naintindihan ba yon? Paki-thumbs up kung naintindihan. If it is less than 100, there is no need for sampling procedure. Okay. Now, if in case halimbawa ang inyong respondent, ang sasagot ng inyong questionnaire is mga consumers. Okay? Let's say consumers in Nasugbu, Batangas. So, may data na tayo about the consumers of the in Subo, Batangas. At sobrang dami niyan. Okay? So, it is around, let's say, I don't know the exact figure. Let's say it is 100,000. Okay? That is the time that we will be needing sampling procedure. Okay? So, a a uh, a, a a respondent as big as 100,000 needs to have a multi-stage sampling. Ano yung sinasabi nating multi-stage sampling? Ibig sabihin, it can be a combination of this different probability sampling, okay, so that we could be able to narrow them down. Okay? So for us to be able to do that, alamin muna natin what is the population. Again, we will go back to the Rausoft, no? So we have the Rausoft sample size calculator. Okay? So wala na tayong gagalawin dito sa margin, sa confidence level, population size lang yung gagalawin natin. Okay? Let's say for example, we have sino rito ang ang respondent ay consumer. Consumer in Nasugbu, Batangas. Do you have the figure? May idea ba? 140,000 ba or what? Anyone? Yes, Miss Dueñas?
152,000 po, sir.
152,000. Halimbawa, no? Walang butal, saktong 152,000. So once we type in the 152,000, it requires 384 respondents. Now the question is, how do we determine those 384? Okay? Sobrang laki ng population, sobrang laki rin ng geographic location. It is because we are talking about one municipality. Wala sanang problema kung halimbawa ang target nyo lamang o nasa title ninyo is in poblasyon, Nasugbu, Batangas. And there should be a reason bakit poblasyon lang, no? Pero kapag ang declaration natin halimbawa is that the consumers in Nasugbu, Batangas, then we are talking about every population in Nasugbu, Batangas should be considered. It is because they are all consumers. Okay? So we will be needing 384 respondents. Okay? Coming from different barangays. Okay? So kung babalikan natin yung ating sampling procedure, we have what we call the simple random, we have systematic, we have stratified, we have cluster sampling. Okay? Ngayon, the question is, dati kasi, ang ginagawa lang natin is more of simple random. Okay? A combination of stratified and simple random. They are stratified according to their barangay. Okay? And then kinuha natin yung population each barangay to get the percentage, and then we multiply it to the target respondents to determine gaano karami yung respondents natin per barangay. Okay? So it should be proportionate. Okay? Mas maraming tao dun sa barangay na yon, mas marami ang inaasahan na sample size from that barangay based on computation of percentage. Okay? And then, let's say ang na-compute natin for barangay 1, kailangan natin ng 20, yun yung gagamitan na natin ng simple random. Okay? Ibig sabihin, hindi po pwedeng yung 20 na yun, isang compound lang yung pinuntahan nyo sa barangay 1. It should be coming from different areas of barangay 1. Okay? Hindi pwedeng yung magkakamag-anak. Okay? Since it is because kung isang pamilya lang yung tinanong mo do sa 20 na yon, they do not represent the whole barangay. So, we should be applying simple random sampling. Ibig sabihin, bubunutin natin, no? Ilan bang household meron dyan? O, household number 1, dyan tayo kukuha halimbawa. Household number 3, household number 22. Ganon siya. Okay? So, it is a combination of stratified and simple random. No? Ang problem noon is that talagang nahirapan yung ating mga researcher. It is because they have to go to each and every barangay in Nasugbu. Pati kaduluduluhan. Ano ba ang pinakadulong barangay dito? Aga? Putat? Yung talagang mga malalayo na at yung iba ay liblib pa. Okay? So, merong isa ngayong pinagagamit sa atin which is what we call the cluster sampling. Okay? So, when we say the cluster sampling, ika-cluster natin sila according to their barangay, and then pipili lamang tayo based on simple random as well, okay, kung anong barangay lang ang pupuntahan natin. Okay? Let's say out of 42, 10 lang yung ating pupuntahan. Okay? And then hindi pwedeng kung ang pupuntahan nyo yung malapit sa inyong barangay o yung barangay nyo lang mismo. It should be still scientific, okay, in the process. Ibig sabihin, kailangan, o yung iba may ruletang ginagamit, yung iba may mga bunutan, nakalagay doon yung pangalan ng barangay and then bubunutin nila yung 10. Let's say, from poblasyon, ang nabunot ay barangay 3, barangay 8, at barangay 9. Tatlo lang yung napili sa poblasyon. Then the rest, ang galing pa ng Aga, ang galing pa ng Bukana, ang galing na ano. Okay? So, scientific pa rin yung pagpili. Okay? So, from those 10 barangay, alam din natin yung population niya. We will then compute the percentage of the population so that we can multiply it to the target 384. Okay? Again, going back to our target sample size, it is still 384. Sir, hindi naman gagaling sa bawat barangay. 10 na lang. Okay? But then, we use cluster sampling to represent the whole Nasugbu. Okay? Kaya, still, 384 pa rin yung kukunin natin mula sa kanila. And again, by percentage, we compute it so that we can get by proportion gaano karami from barangay 3, barangay 8, barangay 9, at yung iba pang barangay na napili. Okay? And then, pagpipiliin naman natin kung sinong household o sinong individual ang gagawin nating representative, then we will be using, again, simple random. Kaya tinawag siyang multi-stage sampling. The first stage, we use cluster sampling to determine what barangay. And then, second stage, we use the simple random, okay, to determine who will be the respondents of the study. Okay? Nakuha ba about the sampling procedure? Thumbs up kung nakuha. Magtatanong kayo, ha? Walang bayad ang tanong dito. Okay. Now that we have identified the sampling procedure, okay, and identified the participants of the study, okay, ito na yung ating trabaho, the instrumentation. Ito yung target nating trabahuhin ngayong semestral break. No? We have the construction, we have the validation, and then we have the reliability testing. Okay? So, ano yung construction? Okay? In the construction, again, ang basis natin dito is our statement of the problem. Okay? So, ano ang statement of the problem natin? Okay? Let's say, for example, nagsimula ka sa demographic profile. Okay? Kailangan mag-align yung laman ng SOP at laman ng iyong questionnaire. Okay? Hindi po pwedeng iba yung nasa questionnaire at iba rin ang nasa SOP. They should be aligned. Okay? Say, for example, first in your SOP, okay, is the demographic profile. Okay? The first demographic profile is the sex. No. So, ibig sabihin, pag chinek natin yung inyong questionnaire, pag gumawa na kayo ng questionnaire ninyo, there should be a question about the sex. Okay? Ang iba, magpapacheck sa amin. Nakalagay doon sa SOP, sex. Pagdating na sa questionnaire, naging gender na. Magkaiba ba ang sex at saka gender? Yes. Okay? Gender, ginagamit lang natin kapag gender studies. Okay? Ibig sabihin, yung study natin ay naka-focus, okay, about gender. Okay? May mga gender studies kasi na lumalabas ngayon na pati ibang gender or orientation isinasama natin. Okay? But then, kung ang pinag-uusapan lang naman natin is the difference between the responses of male and female, it is just sex. Ngayon, pag naglagay tayo ng ating mas maganda gawin nating respondent-friendly ang questionnaire natin. Okay? Kayo mismo tatanungin niyo yung sarili ninyo. Pag ako ba nakatanggap ng questionnaire Ano ba ang gusto ko? Yung mag-iisip pa ako o magche-check na lang ako? 'Di ba mas gusto natin i-check na lang. Mag-iisip pa rin naman pero at least hindi ko na isusulat yung inisip ko. I-check ko na lang. Ibig sabihin, there will be choices. Di ba't mas madali yon? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes
Okay.
po.
Say for example, sex. Ah, lagyan nyo na ng choices. Male or female. As simple as that. Then lagyan nyo ng checkbox. Hindi yung open-ended question. Nakalagay sex, colon, tapos underline. Doon nagkakaroon ngayon ng confusion. Kaya pag ginawa na natin yung reliability testing, doon na nagkakaroon ng problema. It is because nako-confuse yung tao. Okay? Yung iba magsasagot ng male, yung iba magsasagot ng female. Yung iba, akala nila yung sex ay katulad din ng gender. So ilalagay lesbian or gay. Okay? Yung iba, the worst case scenario, nilalagay 2 times a week. So, hindi kasalanan yun ng respondent. Kasalanan nyo ng researcher. Bakit? Hindi kasi maliwanag yung kanyang questionnaire. Ngayon, kapag nilagay natin sex, colon, and then may choices, male and female, tingin nyo ba magkakamali pa?
Hindi na po, sir.
Hindi na. Okay? Kapag may choices na male and female, tapos ang nilagay niya, sinulat niya pa rin, gay. May diferensya na hindi si researcher, kundi yung respondents na ang may problema. So again, as I have said, the basis of our questionnaire should be our statement of the problem. Okay? The statement of the problem. Okay? So kung yan man ay age, sex, educational attainment, o pagdating sa age, hindi basta pwedeng naglagay lang tayo ng multiples of 5 or multiples of 10. Yan yung paborito ng mga researcher na ayaw na mag-isip. Yung mga tinatamad. Ano ilalagay nila? Let's say, 5 to 10, 11 to 15, 16 to 20, 21 to 25. Okay? So, madali nga naman checkan. Ang daming choices. However, may problema tayo pagdating sa interpretation. Bakit? It is because anong ibig sabihin ng 5 to 10? Anong ibig sabihin ng 11 to 15? Okay? Anong ibig sabihin doon? Ibig sabihin, kailangan may distinction yung mga age range natin based on a particular scale. Ano yung mga scale na yan? Let's say, ano ba ang age ng mga teen? Ayan, 13 to 19. And then we have the young adult. Ano ba ang age ng young adult? Ano ba ang age ng adult? Ano ba ang age ng middle-aged? Ano ba ang age ng old-aged? Okay? Para pagdating sa interpretation, mas madaling i-interpret. Hindi natin sasabihin that the ages 5 to 15 has these responses. No. Ang pwedeng maging interpretation natin, mas aggressive pa pala yung mga young adult as compared to the adult. So, ibig sabihin, may ibig sabihin yung mga scale natin. Hindi yung basta ka nalang naglagay ng scale. So, I hope maliwanag yun, no? Hindi tayo basta-basta naglalagay ng scale. Again, you go to your literature, you look into the internet, okay? Ano ba? Pag sinabing ang sex, madali, male and female lang. Ang age, yun, aalamin ninyo. Okay? Ano ba ang age ng teen, ng young adult, ng middle-aged, o kung hanggang saan aabot yung ating target respondents. Okay? Ganon din sa educational attainment. Okay? Ano ba yung different levels of the education? Okay? We have the elementary graduate, high school graduate, college graduate, okay? O yung ating postgraduate na tinatawag, okay? Graduate studies, okay? So yun yung mga dapat na makikita doon. Ganun din sa income. Paborito rin ito ng mga ng mga tinatamad na mag-isip na researcher. Basta ang income multiples of 5,000, no? 5,001 to 10,000, 10,001 to 15,001 to 20,000. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Wala siyang ibig sabihin. Okay? Para magkaroon ng ibig sabihin, we have to know ano ba yung mga income brackets natin. Okay? From class A to class B, yung class C, nahati pa yan. Upper class C, middle class C, lower class C. And then we have the class D, and then the last one is the class E. So we have to make a research, ano ba ang income ng mga bawat classes na yon para chechikan na lang nila kung hanggang saan sila doon. Okay? So those are just examples, okay? Sinasabi ko rin yung mga common mistake na ginagawa ng mga nag-construct ng questionnaire, okay? Na dapat bawat items ay merong basihan. Uulitin ko, bawat item or scale, okay, ay meron tayong basis. Hindi yung tumingala sa langit at naisipan lamang na multiples of 5, multiple of 5,000, yung mga ganyan. Okay? There should always be a basis. Okay? Ngayon, in the case of demographic profile, kindly review again your demographic profile. Aside from the recommendations given by your panel members, you have to review it in a sense na lahat ba ng demographic profile na makakaapekto sa variable na i-consider na. Kasi kung hindi pa, we have to add more variables, particularly in the demographics, okay, para maging rich yung result ninyo. Okay? So that is how we do the demographic. Now, how about doon sa mismong study na? Okay? So we can use different scale. Depende yan sa study ninyo. Okay? I'll be sharing to you this document. Can you see this one?
Yes po, sir. Yes po.
Okay? Ang dami ritong mga samples ng mga Likert scale response options, no? Dati pinag-usapan namin ano ba talaga ang gagamitin? Is it 4-point scale or 5-point scale? Okay? Bakit ganun, sir? Iba yung turo sa amin, iba yung turo ninyo. It is because we came from different universities. Ang mga teacher ninyo, we are trained, okay, from different undergraduate universities, from different masteral schools and doctoral schools. Okay? But then, upon meeting with the associate dean, okay, ang pinagagamit na ngayon is the 5-point scale. Okay? Bakit? Kasi mas accurate siya. Okay? Based on a statistician. Okay? Now, in here, we have samples, okay, depende dun sa study ninyo. Okay? Level of acceptability, appropriateness, beliefs, importance, knowledge, level of agreement, okay, priority. Sir, 7 yan. Hindi, pwede nyo namang tanggalin na yung iba. Okay? From strongly to somewhat to neither to somewhat to strongly agree. 5-point scale lang siya. Okay? So, level of priority, desirability, level of concern, level of production, participation, frequency. So, maraming pwedeng pagkunan dito. Okay? Ngayon, ito ay isi-share sa inyo, okay, so that you can decide anong scale yung gagamitin ninyo. And the scale should be based again on our SOP. Okay? Say for example, behavior. Behavior or consumer behavior halimbawa. Okay? So kung behavior, it is all about practices. So we have to look into ang mas applicable sa kanya ay yung frequency. Ito. Never, rarely, sometimes, often, always. Okay? Consumer behavior yon. So, ibig sabihin, depende yan doon sa inyong SOP. Okay? So, yung scale na gagamitin ninyo ay nakadepende doon sa inyong SOP. So, kung pinag-uusapan natin ay consumer behavior, so ibig sabihin, there will be an action. There will be about practices. So, the question is, ginagawa ba lagi? Hindi pwede rito ang level of agreement. Okay? Bakit hindi pwede, sir, yung level of agreement sa consumer behavior? Kasi pwede nag-a-agree lang ako pero hindi ko siya ginagawa. Halimbawa, ang tanong ay, may epekto ba sa akin sa consumer behavior ko doon sa nakikita kong advertisement sa TV? Okay? Maaring nag-a-agree ako, highly agree. Okay? The score is 5. Pero hindi naman ako bumibili. Nag-a-agree lang ako. Okay? Pag sinabi nating behavior, ang tanong, ginagawa mo ba? Okay? Kapag nakakita ka halimbawa ng Jollibee, Chicken Joy sa TV, na-entice ka bang bumili? Ang sagot ko, pag ako tinanong ninyo, sometimes or rarely. Hindi naman pwedeng kada makakakita ako sa TV ng Jollibee, Chicken Joy, bibili ako. Ang sagot ko, always. Walang ganun tao. No, I don't know. Okay? Pero pag nangyari yan sa akin, abay, ipapatayin ko na ang TV. Okay? It is because malaki ang gastos ko. Kung lagi ako makakakita halimbawa ng Jollibee at lagi akong bibili. Okay? So, frequency yung mas applicable doon sa as compared to the level of agreement. Iba yung nag-a-agree, iba yung ginagawa. Naintindihan? Nakuha ba?
Yes po.
Okay? So, there are a lot of choices here na pwede nyong gamitin. Okay? So, this will be shared in our Google site. I believe the BSBA HRM at saka BSTM, you have access to my Google site.
Yes, sir.
Ayan. Okay? So, I'll be sharing again, okay, this Likert scale, okay, para maging basis nyo rin. Ngayon, sino rito ang may study about consumer behavior? Most probably, mga marketing ito. Anybody? Ano yung mga balikan nyo yung SOP ninyo. I hope habang nakikinig kayo sa akin, hawak nyo ngayon yung inyong what do you call this? Yung inyong manuscript. Ano ng consumer behavior ninyo? Ano yung mga indicators ninyo for consumer behavior? Yes, Catherine?
Ang amin po, sir, ay perceived impact of influencer marketing and lifestyle branding to buying intention of the consumer po. Yung amin po in terms of yung sa influencer marketing po yung sponsored content, affiliate marketing, brand awareness, online influencers, and social platforms po. Tapos doon naman po sa lifestyle branding po ay in terms of psychographics, emotional advertising, strategic communication, and lifestyle segmentation po.
Yung mga in terms na yan. Based on the literature, hahanapan natin ng tinatawag natin ngayong indicator. Okay? Pag sinabi nating indicator, ibig sabihin, kapag sinagot natin yung questions ng mga indicators na yan, yan yung nagre-represent doon sa mga in terms of na yan. I don't know if I have here a sample that I can share. Katulad nito. Perception of customers and vendors. Can you see this one?
Yes po, sir.
Yes po.
So, this is in terms of what? Location. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, yung mga tanong natin should be about the location. And then it is, or it should be the, what do you call this? The level of agreement, no? Ano ba ito? Safety and sanitation practices. There's something wrong with the kasi ito mga sample lang ito mga sinubmit, okay, for checking. Ito, pag ako ang titingin noong questionnaire ninyo for validation, X na agad itong agree, level of agreement. Bakit? It is because we are talking about the safety and sanitation practices. Okay? Katulad na sinabi ko kanina, pwedeng nag-a-agree ako, pero sa restaurant namin o sa food stall namin, hindi namin ginagawa yon. Okay? Halimbawa, sa location, it should be free from air and water pollution and industrial activities. Food stall to, nandiyan sa kanto ng Jollibee. Yung mga nagtitinda ng mga pares, nagtitinda ng yung mga, what do you call doon? Calamares. Ayan. Now, the question is it free from air pollution? Okay? The question is, maaring moderately disagree, okay, or strongly disagree, but in reality, it is. Okay? Location is free from flooding, location is free from pest infestation. Okay? Anyway, ito nga pala, ang tanong niya is about a situation, current situation. Kaya pwede itong level of agreement. Okay? Pero kapag ang pinag-usapan na natin is about the behavior, food handlers personnel maintain a high degree. Okay? Baka kasi ang sasagutin lagi nila ay strongly agree, pero hindi nila pinapractice. So kung behavior ang pinag-uusapan natin, dapat ang sagot dito ay hindi level of agreement, kundi the level of frequency. Is it always? Lagi ba na malinis ang ating mga food handlers? Okay? O sometimes lang or never? Ayan. So in here, this is an example of a survey questionnaire, okay, na nakabase doon sa kanyang mga indicators. This is about the practices in terms of location, in terms of facility, in terms of lighting, personal cleanliness and behavior. Ano pa ang comment ng Sir Caparas? Hindi po pwedeng tatlo lang ang indicator per parameter, no? It should be at least 5 pataas. At pag ginamit mo halimbawa ay 7 sa isa, 7 na dapat lahat. Okay? Pag ang ginamit mo halimbawa ay 5, lahat dapat tigli 5. In this case, in this example, may 3, may 2. Okay? So, hindi equal yung footing. Okay? Hindi rin enough, okay, yung mga indicators natin that will describe the parameter of location. It should be at least 5. Okay? So, kung ang parameter natin, yung in terms of ninyo, ang parameter ninyo halimbawa ay 4 times 5, there will be 20 questions all in all. Okay? So, this is another example. Tingnan natin. Effectiveness of omni-channel marketing strategies on micro-food business. Ayan. Ito, pag nagpa-validate tayo, ha? Anyway, ang discussion pa lang din naman natin is construction. Pag nagpa-validate kayo, dapat kasama ang SOP na ipapakita ninyo together with the questionnaire. Kasi titignan niya kung nagmamatch ba yung tanong doon sa questionnaire natin. Okay? Nakalagay rito, nature of business. Dapat meron dito nature of business. Nakalagay rito, type of business. Dapat nakalagay rito, type of business. Number of employees. Number of years in business. Itong number of employees, kita nyo ito, walang naging basihan ito pag ganito. Okay? Ilan ba ang empleyado kapag small enterprise, pag medium enterprise? So, there should be a basis on this. Okay? Hindi yung multiples of 3 lang. Ganyan na nangyari rito. Ito, 4-point Likert scale ang ginamit. Okay, again, as I've said, it should be at least 5. Okay? And then, ito yung kanyang mga parameters, offline strategy. Okay? Kita nyo yung tanong, hindi consistent. How frequent, how consistent, biglang, do you use coupons? Hindi siya answerable with a question, with the parameters na ginawa natin, no? Ibig sabihin, it should be answerable by the by the scale na ginamit natin. Okay? We have 6 here, we have 6 here. Ayun, okay 'yon. Biglang 10 dito. Okay? So, hindi equal yung mga indicators natin per parameter. Okay? As much as possible, we have to make it equal. Okay? Ito, may age generation. Saan ang galing ito? This is based on research. Okay? Para malaman nung ano, kasi minsan may mga tao, minsan ako nga nalilito pa kung nasaan nga ako. Okay? So, dapat ay, anong ibig sabihin ng Generation X? Those that are born from 1965 to 1980. Doon ko lang malalaman, o doon lang malalaman ng tao, Generation X pala ako, baby boomer pala ako. Ito yung example nung sinabi ko kanina, multiples of 10,000. Walang basis. Hindi naman natin pwedeng sabihin na less than 10,000 ay yun yung nasa laylayan. Okay? Kasi actually, yung Class E ay nasa 5,600 per month. Okay? And then, 5,700 pataas, nandun na siya sa Class D. Etong less than 10,000, nahagip niya yung Class D at Class E. Ang hirap ngayong i-interpret nito. Okay? So, the income status should be based on an actual income coming from different classes. So, we have here a question about the social media, kung ano yung ba yung ginagamit, check lang. And then, level of effectiveness. So, kung level of effectiveness, it is not answerable with strongly agree. Tama ba? What should be the scale for level of effectiveness? Ang hinahanap dito is level of effectiveness. Biglang ang tanong ay, the advertisement post from the resort help me decide if I will make a reservation or not. Then, sasabihin ko yung level of agreement. Hindi nasasagot ngayon yung level of effectiveness pag ganito. Okay? So again, balikan natin yung SOP, ano yung hinahanap, level of effectiveness. So, it should be about, the scale should be about the level of effectiveness. Anyone who can try? Ano dapat ang scale na gagamitin natin? Sir, paano yan? Halimbawa, assuming, I don't know kung meron dito. Okay. Sir, paano kung wala? Ano na ulit? Level of agreement na lang. Okay? Kasi ayaw ko na mag-isip. May nakita ako rito. Isa, level of influence. Okay? How can we make this level of effectiveness? Going back, kung level of effectiveness ang study, how do we make this level of influence to be a level of effectiveness? Extremely effective, very effective, somewhat effective, slightly effective, not at all effective. Wag aasa dito lamang, no? You can be creative. So that makes it questionable ngayon. Bakit level of agreement yung ginawa? It is because lagi yung tatanungin, pag nasagot ba ito ng ating respondent, nakuha nga ba natin yung level of effectiveness? Actually, hindi. Kasi level of agreement yung kinuha ninyo. Ito yung mga common mistake na nagagawa ng ating mga researchers. No? Hindi nagmamatch yung target doon sa scale na ginamit and minsan doon sa indicator na ginamit. Nakuha?
Aba, sir.
Okay. So, this is with regards to the questionnaire. So, ibig sabihin, until the end of your SOP, nasan ba yung may sample tayong SOP? Hanggang dito sa dulo, dapat masagot natin using our questionnaire. Using the different scales. Nakuha kung paano?
Apa, sir. Yes po.
Sumunod is what we call the validation. No? Meron tayong validation instrument. Ayan, isi-share ko rin ito. Ito yung ibibigay natin doon sa ating validator. Yung instrument, ito, and then yung SOP, and then yung questionnaire na de-develop ninyo. Pero bago kayo magpa-validate, siguraduhin nyo munang yung advisor nyo mismo ay approve sa kanya yung questionnaire na ginawa ninyo. Ibig sabihin, from this day forward, make a regular appointment with your advisor. No? Nag-post na rin ako sa aming chat, no? At binanggit ko sa kanila that many of the groups will be approaching their advisor. Okay, so they have to give time, quality time for consultation, particularly in doing their questionnaire, their validation and reliability testing. No? So the first one, gumawa tayo ng questionnaire, pa-check natin sa advisor, kung anong recommendation niya, sundin natin. Nakakasunod? Ngayon,
Yes, po, sir.
pag-approve na nung ating advisor, that is the time na magpapavalidate na tayo. Ayan, gagawa na tayo ng letter. Ito nga palang letter, no? Sino nga pala ang mga magbabalidate? Okay? So, 6 dyan coming from the academe. Yan yung ating, kung ikaw ay marketing, adi mga marketing instructors natin. Kung ikaw ay BSHM, HM instructor, so on and so forth. Okay? 7 yon. 6 yon. And then yung 4 manggagaling from the expert in the field. Sino yung mga expert in the field na yan? Okay? E di yun yung mga marketing graduates o nagtatrabaho sa marketing field. Lalong-lalo na patungkol doon sa topic mo. Okay? So, yun yung mga, let's say, ang topic mo is patungkol sa tourism industry. O di, dapat yung mga expert sa tourism, yun yung mga magiging validators natin na 4. Yung 6 ay manggagaling sa ating academe. Okay? So, ang kailangan? SOP, the questionnaire, yung approved ng advisor, and then itong instrument na ito. Okay? So, nakalagay rito yung kanilang evaluation, kung if they agree, okay, doon sa instrument ninyo. And then, dito ilalagay nila yung comments and suggestions para ma-improve palalo yung inyong questionnaire. But then, you can only make, what do you call this? You can only make revisions based on this validation upon the approval of your advisor as well. Okay? Hindi lahat. Minsan kasi, sa 10 tao na yan, minsan nagko-conflict yung sinasabi nila. Ang tanong, sino susundin ninyo? Sabi ni validator 1, ganito ang gagawin. In contrast to the validator number 8, halimbawa. Sino susundin natin? Tatanungin nyo ngayon yung advisor, Sir, sino po yung susundin namin? Nag-conflict po yung kanilang recommendation. Naintindihan kung paano?
Yes po, sir.
Okay? So, you will be making a letter, okay, a cover letter for the validation addressed doon sa target nating respondent. Sino ang mga what do you call this? Sino ang mga signatory? Ayan, dito para hindi tayo paulit-ulit, no? Sino ba ang pipirma? Number 1, it should be signed by the group representative. Hindi lahat kayo pipirma. Pero inyo 4 o 5 o 6 kayo sa grupo, lahat kayo pumirma. Okay? Group representative, noted by, sino ang magno-noted by? The thesis advisor, the research instructor, then the program chair, the associate dean, and then the dean. Okay? So, 5 officials ang pipirma. Uulitin ko. Okay? Ito ay pirmado ng group representative and then noted by the 5 officials. Okay? Or teachers. Okay? So, sino yung noted? Number 1, we have the advisor. We have the research instructor, program chair, associate dean, and dean. All in all, 6 ang pipirma. Nakuha?
Yes po, sir.
And then you will be using the official letterhead. Again, I'll be sharing the letterhead doon sa ating, what do you call this, sa ating Google site. Okay, you can download it. Nakuha yung proseso ng validation?
Yes po, sir. Noted po.
Okay. Ngayon, bakasyon na ang ating mga teachers. Paano ang gagawin? You can send it to their email. Okay? Just make sure that you have a prior communication. Okay? So, that is validation. Then, the last one is what we call the reliability testing. Ano naman yung reliability testing? Okay? So, when we say the reliability testing, okay, itetest na natin ngayon sa pilot, ay tinatawag nating pilot test to the respondents. Okay? Pag sobrang dami, let's say, ang ating consumers ng Nasugbu, Batangas. Okay? Pwedeng kumuha tayo ng 10 coming from Nasugbu, coming from different barangay. Okay? Let's say, yung pinili natin sa cluster na 10, tigi-tigi sa bawat barangay. So, i-administer natin sa kanila yung questionnaire. And then, bibili na natin sila na babalik tayo after a week. Okay? Ang tawag natin doon sa una is the pre-test. And then, sumunod naman is the post-test. After 1 week, bumalik tayo, i-administer natin the same questionnaire. Okay? And then, itatali natin. Okay? Ngayon, paano ang gagawin natin? Okay? Let's say, ito yung question number 1. Ito yung 5-point scale, halimbawa. Ang sagot niya, nung una, nung pretest ay nakikita ba?
Yes po, sir.
3, 3, 4, 3, so on and so forth. Okay? Ngayon, bumalik kayo after 1 week. Ito pa rin ang sagot niya. Doon sa question 1 pa lang yun, ha? Question 1, parameter 1, indicator 1. So, ibig sabihin, kung 20 yung inyong question, 20 ganito rin yung gagawin ninyo in Excel. Nakuha ba?
Yes po, sir.
Okay? Now, so ano napansin natin? Ang sagot nila ay parehong-pareho. Okay? Then we compute for the correlation using the Pearson R. Paano natin gagawin yon? We have equals correl, double R, and then tab, and then array 1, yung pretest, and then comma, and then yung post-test, and then click enter. So, parehong-pareho sila, definitely ang expected 1 yung correlation R. Ano ang target natin? It should be at least 0.7. Okay? Hindi pwedeng bababa tayo sa 0.7. Katulad nito, nagbago. Si respondent number 1, dati ang sagot niya ay 3, naging 4. Then the rest, pare-pareho naman yung sagot. Napansin niyo yung correlation niya, 0.82. Pasado pa rin ba to?
Yes po.
Yes. Sabi natin kanina, ang requirement 0.7. Nakuha? Anong ibig sabihin ng 0.7? Ibig sabihin there is a strong correlation doon sa sagot nung una as compared doon sa padalawa. Ibig sabihin hindi nako-confuse yung ating respondent. Nakuha ba? Okay?
Yes po.
What will happen kung halimbawa ay ito ay 4 at ang sagot niya ulit na sumunod ay 2 na lang. Okay? Naging 0.3 na lang. Okay? Dalawa na yung nag-iba. Ibig sabihin, there is something wrong with the question. We have to review and revise the question so that hindi siya nakaka-confuse. Naintindihan? Hello?
Yes po. Yes po.
Okay. Now, sir, itetest pa ba ulit? Hindi na. No? Ipapacheck nyo na lang yung revision ninyo sa inyong advisor. Okay? Ngayon, kung halimbawa, ganito ang lumabas. 3, 4, then the rest, tama naman. Ito, meron tayong tinatawag na outlier. Okay? Pero mo, ang sagot ng karamihan is 3 and 4. Ang sagot niya ay 1. At nung post-test, same na tanong, ang sagot niya naman ay 5. Ibig sabihin, walang diferensya yung ating questionnaire. Ang may diferensya si respondent number 10. Nakuha?
Yes po.
So, anong gagawin natin? Tanggalin natin si respondent number 10. Kasi, confused. Siya lang naman yung nag-iisang confused. Ito ba confused? Hindi. No? As compared to this, na 1 and 5, as compared to the others, talagang ang layo niya. Nakuha? Ano nangyari no? Tinanggal
sir.
natin yung confused. Okay na ulit. Naintindihan?
Opo.
Okay. So, yun yung reliability testing. Okay? If it is higher than 0.7, okay yung tanong. If it is lower than 0.7, then we'll have to review and revise the question. And then the last one, okay, we'll have the data gathering. But then as I've said, ang data gathering, pag nag-enroll na tayo, pwera doon sa mga employability at saka employer's feedback. Okay? Medyo maingay. Ayan. Okay. Now, in the data gathering, okay, ang tanong ngayon, doon sa na-identify nating respondents, paano natin i-data, i-gather yung data? Okay. So, we can use paper and pencil. Ibig sabihin ay meron talaga tayong printout and then bibigyan natin sila ng kopya and then pasasagutan natin sa kanila. Okay? There are some, okay, they prefer soft copy. Ayan. So, tayo mismo ang magkakandak ng survey. Okay? Ayoko makakarinig na nagrereklamo yung isang establishment, let's say, manager halimbawa ng Jollibee. Naku sir, ang ginawa naman ng estudyante ninyo, Yung 10 questionnaire, basta na lang iniwan sa amin at sabi sa amin pasagutan sa aming crew. Okay? Always remember nang aabala tayo ng tao. Tayo ay makikiusap, hindi natin sila uutusan. So, hanggat maaari, okay, ayoko makakarinig ng mga complaints coming from different offices, coming from different respondents na hindi maganda yung inyong pakikipag-usap. Okay? Always remember, tayo ay nakikiusap. Okay? We are getting a favor from them. So, we have to give them due courtesy. Okay? Do not forget to greet, good morning ma'am, good morning sir. Hindi naman mahirap gawin yon. Pag nasagutan na, hindi rin mahirap magsabi ng thank you with a smile. So, kayo mismo ang mag-gather ng data. Hindi nyo yan ipapagather sa iba. Unless yung mismong manager or supervisor na nagsabi, naku, wag na, mahihirapan lang kayo, kami na ang bahala. That is the only time na bibigay lang natin sa kanila. Okay? Pero hindi po pwedeng sasabihin ninyo sa supervisor, pwede ho bang kayo na? May mga ganyan ha, na nagreklamo sa amin. Okay? Iba ang approach. Ay katakot-takot na sabon ang inabot sa akin ng grupo na iyon. Okay? So that is with regards to data gathering, no? Statistical treatment, we will have a separate discussion on this. Okay? So hanggang dito lamang yung ating orientation. Do you have any question? Yes, Benhar?
Sir, ano po, bali, may concern lamang po kaming BSA po.
Mm-mm.
Gawa sa August po ay mag-start na po yung OJT po namin. Tapos, ano po, parang mahihirapan po kami, sir, if magde-data gathering po kami.
Okay, ganito
Is
ang
sa August
gawin.
din po.
Sino ang presidente ng klase?
Sir, ako po.
Okay. You will make a letter addressed to the dean and the associate dean. Kasi napag-meetingan ito. Okay? I understand iba yung case ninyo as compared to the other. Kasi sa kanila, ang kasabay lang ay mga subject. Kayo naman ay OJT and we understand that. No? Ngayon, since yan ay napagdesisyonan ng Kabim admin, you will have to make an appeal. You have to make a letter to the stating the facts. Okay? Kung bakit kayo mahihirapan kung hanggang reliability testing lang kayo this vacation. And then your request is to allow you to gather the data even at the time of the vacation. Nakuha?
Yes po, sir, noted po.
Okay. Other questions? May tanong pa ba?